Now, in the next 10 minutes, is going to get very rough. And if some of you feel that you cannot take this kind of digging, go back and buy some products from the back or from the table and close your ears. But if I just made you very hungry for what may be happening, then let me finish before you reach a conclusion. Let me state, and I'll try to deal with it as scientifically as possible. It's going to get to be very interesting. Woman was the first, that is, the first female sex creation that endured the cessation of the hermaphroditic state. In other words, it was that phylum, called now female, that endured again the dual-sexed seed, having two sexes in one. This original person, or this original species of human, dwelt in the heavens of earth, or what is called the etheric vibrations, a much faster vibration than that of the physical vibration. And as the atoms of the planet condensed, so did the atoms of this species condense in the lower heavens of earth. This condensation led to a lower and lower vibrational rate within the atomic structure of both the planet and the species that had lived in the heavenly essence of that planet, until both became fairly solid. Then the hermaphroditic tendencies, through what is called a coalescence of the chakra centers, changed to an androgenic conception. It's interesting also that the word androgynous means having male and female parts on the same plant cluster, but androgen has been named by men as being any substance that induces or strengthens masculine characteristics, such as a male sex hormone. How far have we come? Number two, when this advanced species during ancient earth times mated with animals of earth's origin, their coitus resulted in a new offspring, animal man. And the animal portion of their union followed the animal menses, which are governed by the moon, and at that time the earth took on a moon. They were then called human, or animal men, lower vibratory creatures of the fallen heavens. 3. When this advanced species during ancient earth times mated with animals on earth, their coitus resulted in another fallen energy unit. And that was even fallen lower than the original humans, who at least needed the moon cycle to propagate. High alkaline diets, enzymes, fresh juices, oxygen, and chlorophyll containing foods, along with deep breathing and exercise, shortens the menses. Most female athletes, circus performers, long-distance runners, tennis players, tend to slow their menses to no more than 1.5 days. Most vegetative, animal-eating, white sugar-containing females have their menses extended to a 5 to 7 day mens cycle. Many normal, healthy females don't even start menstruating at 19 or 20 years old, and then usually worried parents, ignorant doctors, or money-hungry doctors bring their menstrual cycles on with intensive efforts. And I won't be so low as to tell you some of the practices to induce menses, but maybe some of you males or females may have heard of them. And they can become extremely violent and volatile. All original zygotes are females when formed. They later change, and as our planet has lowered in its vibration, now that is at least 98% still true. After 6 to 8 weeks, the male fetus starts to secrete testosterone, otherwise it would have remained a female. Now please, we're going to start getting rough. Listen intently and take it accordingly. There is no truth until you decide what truth is. Sometimes a small quantity of testosterone is secreted, just enough to make testes form on the developing embryo, but not enough to utilize proper brain chemistry and pituitary balance, and indigenous homosexuality can be produced. I don't need to repeat that because you heard it, didn't you? How many want to hear just one more time? I thought that. Boy, I'm getting psychic. Sometimes a small quantity of testosterone is secreted, just enough to make testes form on the developing embryo, but not enough to utilize proper brain chemistry and pituitary gland balance, and indigenous homosexuality can be produced. Birthmarks are the mental impregnations and decreased ability of woman to still mark and control the vibratory rates of her cells. Dermoid cysts are the undeveloped cells starting the first trimester of fetal development, and microscopic examination will verify this fact. The hair, teeth, and nails are there. In many cases, this budding tendency can go on each side of the dermoid casing and may become even other type of cysts, especially when improper chemical balance is maintained due to drugs. The word conception means to conceive mentally. Man descended from woman, and circumcision is the artificial means to finalize this separation. The male testes is a woman's descended ovum, now encased within the scrotum. You know what's coming next. The male penis is an elongated clitoris. The female fallopian tube, made by Fallopian in 1523, is the male vas deferens glands, or urethra duct, which is really an amalgamation of the fallopian tubes. The male prostate, and this is one of the reasons why prostate trouble is on the increase, is an atrophied womb, and every man has the mammary glands of the female and can produce milk if he is normal. The bulbourethra glands of the male are the equal of the larger so-called vestibular glands of woman, and interesting enough, the female thyroid gland with its 3 lobe allows enough iodine storage to keep that bulbourethra gland functioning when man begins to dehydrate. What you've heard is different. What you heard may already be agreed on by some, heard of by many, and now is being considered by you in the audience. I state this is just the start of what has been the fall of man on earth and the propagation of a new kind of species. All in all, and since we have a man lecture to follow and a children lecture to follow it, I give you the reasons again for the difference possibility in sex, but the idea that it is possible to reproduce on earth without the union of sperm and egg. Now, again, before I turn this portion only, and please don't ask me about man and children, we have 2 new lectures coming up about them. I want to give you some research papers and items for those of you who want to either correlate that or to do it on your own. One is called The Redundant Male. It's a book by Dr. Jeremy Scherfas, C-H-E-R-F-A-S, and Dr. John Gribbin, G-R-I-B-B-I-N. 2 books by Professor Hilton Hotema, H-O-T-E-M-A. One, The Physiological Enigma of Woman. The other, The Great Red Dragon, both by Professor Hilton Hotema, H-O-T-E-M-A.